Welcome, dear viewers, to a journey through time, justice, and civilization. You've just stepped into the cradle of ancient law, a world where kings ruled not just with power, but with codes written in stone. This is the story of the Code of Hammurabi, one of the earliest and most complete written legal systems in human history. Dating back to around Wushursus BCE, in ancient Mesopotamia, this collection of Arbek Bashar laws tells us more than just rules. It reveals how people lived, traded, loved, and resolved conflict over San-Chibite years ago. In this series, we'll explore Sansish chapters that bring the code to life, not just as stone etchings, but as stories, dramas, and dilemmas that resonate even today. You'll meet kings, merchants, builders, doctors, and even thieves. Each chapter captures a vivid scene where law meets life and justice is tested. Whether you're a student, a history lover, or someone curious about where law began, this series will offer a slow, immersive, and visually rich experience. So, settle in, relax, and let the ancient world unfold. One law, one case, one story at a time. Let's begin our journey into Hammurabi's world. Tracent. In the bustling city of Babylon, the morning sun glints off ziggurats and gilded statues. At the heart of the city stands Hammurabi himself, tall, stern, and robed in royal blue and gold. Before an awestruck crowd, he unveils a monumental black basalt stele. Etched with cuneiform, it contains the laws by which his people will live. This is no ordinary announcement. It is divine order carved in stone. The high priest of Marduk stands beside him, blessing the laws as sacred. Traders, soldiers, weavers, and judges gather to hear the first proclamations. If a man accuses another of murder without proof, he shall be put to death. A hush falls over the crowd. These laws are not merely punishments. They are boundaries that shape society, making chaos yield to order. As the stele is erected in the city square, Hammurabi declares, "I bring justice so the strong may not oppress the weak." His voice carries like a desert wind. It's a promise and a warning. From this day forth, Babylon will be a kingdom of law. This is the beginning of Hammurabi's legacy, a legal world carved in stone, destined to echo through history. In the northern district of Babylon, a grand house is under construction. Master builder Ishkun, renowned for his craftsmanship, inspects the final beams. The client, a wealthy merchant named Enlil Mutar, is eager to move in. But days later, tragedy strikes. A ceiling collapses, crushing the merchant's son. The townspeople gather as Hammurabi's judges arrive. Under the code, law Urbek Ursajur reads, if a builder builds a house for a man and does not make its construction firm, and the house collapses and causes the death of the owner's son, the builder's son shall be put to death. Justice is swift and grim. Ishkun's face hardens as his own son is summoned. His grief is silent, yet resolute. The law does not bend. It protects society through harsh equality. Hammurabi's message is clear. Responsibility carries weight. Lives depend on honest work. The crowd watches in somber silence as justice is enforced. The stone does not weep. The law remembers a nobleman's son lies wounded, his arm broken by a fall from his chariot. The family summons Abu Nasir, a skilled physician known across the Euphrates. He arrives with bronze tools and poultices, working through the night to set the bone and ease the boy's pain. Law Urbek Ishawu of Hammurabi's code states, if a physician performs surgery with a bronze lancet and saves a man's life, he shall receive 10 shekels of silver. But if he causes death or harm, his hands shall be cut off The operation succeeds. Barely. The nobleman, grateful yet bound by law, hands Abu Nasir a heavy pouch of silver. All watch in reverence. Medicine here is both science and risk, and accountability is absolute. Abu Nasir bows, hands trembling not from fear, but from the weight of trust. The healer's hands praised today could be lost tomorrow. Hammurabi's law praises skill, but never without consequence. At the city gate, tension brews. A man named Bel-Etiru accuses his neighbor of theft. He claims 2 goats vanished and swears the neighbor, Adad Sin, was seen in the field at dusk. Under law, Sen, if a man brings an accusation and does not prove it, he shall be put to death. A trial is held in the temple courtyard. Witnesses speak. A shepherd testifies, but says he saw no theft. The accused pleads innocence. The weight of the law now turns to the accuser. Bel-Etiru's face drains of color. He had hoped suspicion alone would suffice. The court declares, there is no proof. Hammurabi's law is merciless against false accusers. Justice must be rooted in truth. As the sentence is read, Bel-Etiru is led away. The crowd murmurs, not out of cruelty, but from reverence. The law demands balance, protect the accused, punish deceit. In Babylon's central bazaar, the aroma of spices and fresh bread fills the air. A merchant, Dagon, is caught tampering with his weights, his bronze scales lighter than lawful measure. Law declares, if a merchant uses false weights or measures, he shall be put to death. Dagon pleads it was a mistake. But market law is unforgiving. Hammurabi's city depends on trust in trade. Bread, barley, gold, all must be measured fairly, or society crumbles. A guard brings the official weights. They expose Dagon's deception. The scales tip not in his favor, but in the laws. The judges pass sentence swiftly. The crowd is hushed. Other merchants watch nervously. From that day forward, every scale is inspected twice. Justice isn't just in the courtroom, it's in the marketplace. Night cloaks Babylon in stillness. A shadow moves along the city walls, a thief, nimble and cloaked in black. His name is Ninurta, a desperate man from the city's edge. He slips into a merchant's home, stealing a silver bracelet and a bolt of dyed cloth. By dawn, he is caught trying to trade the goods in the southern market. Law Ursher Araf, Hammurabi's code, is invoked. If a man is caught stealing, he shall be put to death. The market square becomes a court. Hammurabi's enforcers display the stolen items. Ninurta pleads hunger drove him, but the law does not waver. Theft threatens the peace that Hammurabi built. As the sentence is carried out, merchants tighten their watch. Hammurabi's justice is not only about punishment, it is about protection. Babylon's wealth must flow in order, not at chaos. The city sleeps safer tonight, though not without sorrow. Outside the city walls, farmland stretches to the horizon. A dispute brews between 2 farmers over irrigation. One, named Aramu, accuses the other, Puzur, of diverting a water channel during the night. His crops withered, while Puzur's flourished. Hammurabi's law, Utisan, states, if a man neglects to maintain his canal and it floods a neighbor's field, he must pay for the loss. The judges travel to the site. Scribes measure the field damage. Witnesses testify they heard water rushing in the dark. Puzur's canal shows fresh cuts. The judgment is firm. Puzur must pay in grain and oxen for the ruined harvest. Law ensures that the land, the source of life, remains sacred and protected. As the sun sets, the villagers nod. The king's law travels beyond city gates. Even the fields are watched by justice. In the temple of Ishtar, incense smoke drifts as a nobleman accuses his wife of betrayal. She, Lilitu, stands silent, her gaze unwavering. Whispers ripple through the court. She is said to have taken a lover while her husband was away on caravan business. Under law ibait asadyo. If a man's wife is caught lying with another man, they shall be bound and thrown into the river. The judges demand witnesses. Servants testify to secret meetings, to laughter behind closed doors. Her lover flees the city. Lilitu offers no denial, only dignity. Her husband weeps for shame or heartbreak. No one can say. But Hammurabi's law is cold. The river is summoned. The holy Euphrates will decide. If she survives, the gods have spoken. Bound and lowered into the current, Lilitu disappears beneath the water. Moments pass. Then she surfaces, gasping, alive. The court erupts. Her guilt is washed away. The law bows to the gods. Hammurabi's world has room for mystery and mercy. A young bride named Ninsun approaches the city court. Her husband Zaku left for war and has not returned. His family refuses to return her dowry. Silver coins, a silk robe, and 2 goats, claiming Zaku is alive. Law Ibat Lokstasan says, if a man disappears and his wife has no support, her dowry must be returned. Ninsun bows, her voice calm but firm. It is 3 moons since he vanished. I cannot wait forever. The court listens. A neighbor testifies Zaku was seen fleeing, not fighting. The law favors her. The dowry, a symbol of dignity, must not be held hostage by false hopes or deceit. Justice speaks, her property is restored. As she walks away, veil lifted in the sun, women in the square whisper with admiration. Hammurabi's law sees not only battlefields, it sees the homes left behind. The temple of Marduk prepares for the spring festival, its great wooden gate freshly completed by a skilled carpenter named Bazi. As garlands are hung and torches lit, a loud crack interrupts the chants. The gate collapses, injuring 3 worshippers. Whispers ripple through the crowd. Was it sabotage or negligence? Under Hammurabi's law, urbex and sasan. If a craftsman builds a structure that collapses and causes damage, he must repair it at his own expense. Hirobezi is summoned to court. He swears an oath before the god Marduk, insisting he followed the exact measurements provided by the temple priest. The judges listen, then examine the fallen gate. The fault lies not in the priest's design, but in Bazi's poor joinery. The court rules. Bazi must rebuild the gate at his own cost and compensate the injured with barley and silver. Though spared harsher punishment, his reputation suffers. In Babylon, skilled hands carry both honor and burden. As the festival resumes weeks later, the new gate stands taller, reinforced and carved with lions, a symbol not just of strength, but of accountability. In Hammurabi's Babylon, the oath alone is not enough. Action must follow word. Justice, like a gate, must be solidly built. In Babylon's western quarter, a young slave named Tilu flees her master's house under the cover of dusk. Hungry and frightened, she seeks shelter in the home of a kindly potter. But Law Shulok states, if a man harbors a runaway slave, he shall be put to death. The potter, Elam, is summoned by the city guard. Though his heart was moved by pity, the law sees only the act, not the intent. In court, Elam kneels and confesses. Tilu begs to take his place. The judges deliberate. Witnesses testify to Elam's kindness and to the girl's suffering. A rare ruling is made. Elam must pay a heavy fine but is spared death. Tilu is returned, but the law is amended to preserve life and order. Hammurabi's laws are clear, but the hearts of judges are not stone. In mercy, there is precedent. Babylon watches and remembers a wealthy woman, Zaria, is accused of poisoning her husband's cup. No evidence is found, only whispers and suspicion. Under law Ebite Sansharar, If a woman is accused of wrongdoing, but no proof is presented, she shall plunge into the river. If she survives, she is innocent. By the banks of the Euphrates, crowds gather. Priests prepare the ceremony. Zaria, in solemn white, steps into the current. She does not scream nor plead. Her fate belongs to the gods. The water closes over her. Time stalls. Then she breaks the surface, coughing but alive. Cheers erupt. Her name is cleared. Her accuser, her jealous sister-in-law, is banished. The gods have spoken, and law follows their will. In Babylon, truth can rest on divine judgment when mortal proof fails. The river sees all. In the village of Sippar, an ox goes missing. The owner, Haran, accuses a neighbor, Ishbi-Era, of theft, but the neighbor claims it was lost and found wandering in his field. Law Arbeck Sissersus reads, if a man hires an ox and it is stolen, he must repay the owner with 1 ox of equal value. The case is taken to the local magistrate. The ox bears a mark, a carved ear notch, and Haran presents the matching record. Ishbi-Era argues he intended to return it, but the law does not weigh intentions. He is ordered to repay the value, not as punishment, but as restoration. Restoration. Law here is restitution, a balance of goods, not only guilt. Haran accepts. Ishbi-Era bows. Trade resumes. The ox, unharmed, returns to its pen. A weaver named Bilu agrees to produce ebet cloaks for a merchant by the new moon. But as the deadline arrives, only Loser finished. The merchant sues for breach of contract. Law Urbeck Sansasan declares, if a craftsman fails to deliver goods as agreed, he must return the advance and forfeit his materials. Bilu explains a fire destroyed part of his workshop. Though sympathetic, the court is bound to precedent. The merchant had provided half payment in advance and now suffers loss. The judges rule, Bilu must return the silver and surrender the cloaks already made. Trust is currency in Babylon. A promise is a pillar. If it cracks, the structure falls. Though sorrowful, Bilu complies. The law protects fairness over fortune. In time, he rebuilds his workshop. Now wiser, at a local tavern, tensions flare after cups of barley beer. 2 men, the blacksmith Taram and the herdsman Asgur, argue over a spilled drink. Insults fly. Blows are exchanged. Taram strikes Asgur with an iron rod, breaking his arm. Law Urbeck Ling Loot reads, if a man strikes another and breaks his bones, he shall pay silver according to the victim's status. The tavern owner calls the guard. In court, witnesses speak. Asgur's arm is bound in reeds. Taram pleads the strike was not intended to break bone. But intent means little once bones are broken. The judges set the price. 5 shekels of silver. Taram pays. Asgur bows. The pain is real, but justice soothes. In Hammurabi's realm, even tavern quarrels are weighed in law. Even brawlers must answer to the code. Rumors of dark magic swirl through Babylon's artisan quarter. A goldsmith, Balu, accuses his rival, Ekur, of placing a curse on his tools. Business dwindled and metals tarnished overnight. Law declares, if a man accuses another of sorcery but cannot prove it, he shall be put to death. A temple tribunal is summoned. The high priest of Enki demands evidence. Balu points to burnt metal and black marks on his threshold, but Ekur swears innocence and offers to undergo a sacred test, swallowing a consecrated herb, blessed by the priests. If guilt lies within, the gods will strike him. Ekur consumes the herb. Hours pass. He survives, calm and unharmed. The law turns on the accuser. Baloo is sentenced for false accusation, a warning that superstition cannot outweigh justice. Magic may be feared, but justice demands proof. Even the unseen must be measured by law. Outside the city lies a fertile orchard, rows of dates and figs ripe with the season. Two families, the Namri and the Shabatu, both claim ownership, citing ancient agreements lost in flood years ago. Law Joel states, "If a man claims land without producing documents or witnesses, he shall lose his claim." Both families bring elders to testify. The Shabatu produce a worn tablet, cracked but legible. A date stamp reveals it was registered in Hammurabi's Sure Earth year. The judges consult a city scribe who confirms the seal. The Namri protest. "The land was ours first." But the law is not about first. It is about proof. The orchard remains with the Shabatu. The dates are harvested. The Namri withdraw, vowing to keep better records. Babylon's land is precious. The code preserves its roots in stone and ink alike. A priest collapses after drinking wine at a tavern near the temple walls. No, suspicion falls on Iltani, the tavern keeper, a woman known for her sharp wit and stronger brews. Under law Ibaitling, if a tavern keeper fails to report criminal acts or poisons a patron, she shall be put to death. Guards investigate. It was not poison, but they find hidden dice and stolen coins beneath the tavern floor. Gambling, forbidden among the priesthood, had been ignored by Iltani for months. She pleads ignorance, but the code speaks silence is complicity. The priestry recovers, but the law must make an example. Iltani is fined heavily and her tavern is seized. Her reputation, once strong, now lies in ruins. The ale may still flow, but under new hands and closer watch. In Hammurabi's world, even taverns live under the law's long shadow. A man named Kula wishes to divorce his wife, Malitu, citing no fault but a change of heart. Malitu brings forth her dowry contract, a hefty chest of silver, a ceremonial veil, and 2 donkeys. Law Ibait Sanjabat declares, if a man wishes to divorce his wife, who has borne him children, he must return her dowry and provide support. Kula refuses. She owns nothing. I made the wealth, but the court sees otherwise. The dowry was signed by Malitu's father, witnessed by 2 scribes. The judges rule, the full dowry must be returned, plus monthly grain to support the children. The law safeguards not just marriage, but dignity and future stability. Malitu walks away strong, her veil restored, her children beside her. Kula watches, bitter but defeated. Hammurabi's law favors no man over fairness. On the Tigris River, a fisherman named Gar fails to repay a loan taken for nets and repairs. The lender, a spice merchant, demands repayment in silver. Gar pleads that poor catch seasons ruined his earnings. Law Sijabat declares, if a debtor cannot pay due to natural disaster, the debt may be delayed, not forgiven. The court hears witnesses. River traders confirm low yields. The judges grant a stay of repayment for 1 harvest cycle, not cancellation. The spice merchant, frustrated, storms away. But the law is balanced, protecting both borrower and lender from ruin. Gar bows deeply. I will repay with the river's blessing. Babylon's economy rests on more than gold. It flows like water, watched by law. Smoke rises in the eastern quarter. Flames devour the home of a prominent leatherworker. Witnesses report seeing a boy fleeing the scene with a torch. A young delinquent named Lugal, under Hammurabi's law Ursur, if a man sets fire to a house, he shall be cast into that fire. The judges arrive as the embers cool. The boy is captured and confesses. It was revenge, for being beaten by the homeowner's son. But in Babylon, vengeance does not excuse destruction. Lugal is brought before the ruined home. The crowd gathers, faces grim. The code is clear. Arson threatens not just property, but the safety of all. But before the sentence is carried out, the homeowner intervenes. "I lost bricks and tools," he says, "but not my soul. Let him rebuild what he burned." The court, moved, grants mercy. Lugal must labor for 3 years under temple oversight to repay the loss. Justice, tempered by forgiveness, still holds firm. A noblewoman in labor screams through the night. Her husband, a royal scribe, paces. The midwife, Eni, assures him the child will be strong. But the next morning, the newborn is lifeless. The husband accuses Eni of negligence, demanding justice. Law Urbak Ishabad declares, "If a midwife causes the death of a child through error, her fingers shall be cut off." The court assembles. Witnesses speak. There were complications, but Eni followed every ritual. An elder midwife testifies in her defense. "The child's cord was wrapped thrice," she says. Even the gods struggle against such fate. The judges review records and hear testimony. In the end, the law honors intention and expertise. Eni is spared, but must pay reparation in silver. A balance of justice and grace. Though lives are fragile, Babylon honors the ones who try to save them. The code sees not just failure, but duty. A bricklayer named Karun stands in court, weary from weeks of toil. He built a courtyard wall for a merchant, but was never paid. The merchant claims delay and poor craftsmanship. Law Urbek Loshijti affirms, "If a man hires a laborer, he shall pay him fairly." At the end of the agreed time, Karun produces a clay token, a job marker etched with the agreement seal. Witnesses confirm his completion of work. The judges side with the laborer. The merchant, though powerful, must pay the full wage in silver and offer extra for delay. The court's decision echoes through Babylon's trade halls. Hammurabi's justice protects not only merchants, but the hands that shape the city itself. Every brick tells the story of fair reward. An aging scribe, Naram, raised a boy named Belturi as his own after the child's parents died in a flood. Years later, Naram falls ill. The boy, now grown, leaves him behind and claims no duty to care for him. Law Ibad Bashawu declares, "If a man adopts a child and raises him, that child is as a son, and must honor him in old age." The judges summon Belturi. He argues, "I was never named in the scrolls," but Naram presents the adoption tablet, cracked, but with the seal intact. The court orders Belturi to provide for Naram or forfeit his inheritance. Law binds not just blood, but loyalty. Adoption carries both privilege and obligation. Belturi bows, ashamed. Naram's eyes soften. Babylon's law does not forget kindness, nor allow it to be repaid with silence. On the Euphrates, 2 merchant boats collide during a crowded harvest week. Barrels of dates and wool float downstream. One pilot, Isku, blames the other, Tamil, for veering from his course. Law Urbak Sansarwur states, "If a boatman causes a collision through negligence, he must repay the damaged cargo in full." The court convenes near the docks. Witnesses report. Tamil was drunk, singing loudly before the crash. The river master confirms the course markers were clear. The ruling is swift. Tamil must repay Isku in silver and deliver replacement cargo. River trade must flow smoothly. Chaos endangers all. Tamil lowers his head, humbled. Babylon's law not only governs the land, it rides the river's current as well. In the northern district of Babylon, a man named Idi Marduk performs healing rituals without formal training. A child with fever is brought to him. He applies clay and chants, but the child worsens and dies. The family appeals to the court. Law Urbak Ishabatov, Hammurabi's code states, if a physician operates and causes the patient's death, his hands shall be cut off. But Idi Marduk is not registered as a physician. The judges investigate. No license, no apprenticeship, only arrogance. He is not judged as a healer, but as an impostor. The penalty, exile, and branding. Healing is sacred. To fake such power is a crime against both people and gods. As he's led from the city, Babylon watches. Trust must be earned, not claimed with chants and false herbs. Young Nabatu works under merchant Tizkar, delivering spices and linens. One day, Nabatu disappears, along with 2 sacks of frankincense. Tizkar accuses him of theft. Law Urbak Loshasu states, if an apprentice robs his master, his hand shall be cut off. Nabatu is kept. He claims innocence. I was attacked. The goods were stolen. A shepherd confirms seeing bandits on the road. The court investigates. Tracks in the dust, broken wrappings, and hoof prints. The truth unfolds. Nabatu fought the thieves, was left unconscious, and woke up too ashamed to return. The law does not condemn honesty. The boy is exonerated. Tizkar must apologize publicly. Apprenticeship is not slavery. It is a contract of trust. Babylon's law protects all parties, master and apprentice alike. Even the small voice may speak truth. 2 merchants, Ishtar Bel and Shumu Ilu, agree to share profits from a shipment to Elam. A verbal contract is struck, but when the caravan returns, Ishtar Bel denies the deal. Keeping all the silver, Shumu Ilu brings him to court. Law Chi reads, if a man denies his debt without written proof, and it is proven by witnesses, he shall pay 3-fold. 3 caravan guards testify. They saw the handshake, heard the agreement. The court rules, Ishtar Bel must return the silver and pay triple the amount for deceit. The code punishes not just dishonor, but denial of truth. In Babylon, even a word spoken before witnesses becomes law. Promises are sacred, and betrayal is expensive. Inside a modest clay brick home near Babylon's temple quarter, the once powerful priest Marduk Nasir lies on a reed mat, pale and breathless. His voice is thin, but his mind remains sharp. With his final hours drawing near, he summons a trusted scribe and 3 witnesses. My estate, he rasps, goes to my younger daughter, Ninsun. Let it be written. The scribe presses a stylus to a wet clay tablet, recording every word as law. Marduk Nasir's elder daughter, Lilitu, stands nearby in silence, excluded for past betrayal, though her bloodline is pure. Days later, Marduk Nasir passes. Lilitu storms the temple court, demanding her share. I am the firstborn, she cries. The house and fields are mine by birthright, but the judges remain unmoved. Under Hammurabi's law Ibait Losuwu, if a man wishes to favor one child over another in his will, it is lawful, so long as it is recorded and witnessed. The sealed clay tablet is presented. The witnesses nod. The will stands. Justice in Babylon does not favor pride. It favors preparation. Lilitu departs with nothing but rage. Ninsun, veiled in grief, returns home, not just with property, but with her father's final trust, written in stone. In the grand palace of Babylon, a rare event unfolds. 2 governors from distant provinces accuse each other of corruption. The case is too great for ordinary judges. It reaches King Hammurabi himself. He listens silently as both sides present their claims. One hoarded grain meant for the poor. The other failed to deliver soldiers to the frontier. Both bear guilt, yet neither confesses. The king stands, raising his scepter. The law is my breath. Let no man twist it in shadows. He orders both men removed from office. Their estates are seized and redistributed. A new code is written to govern the provisioning of the provinces, a legacy of law born from error. This is Hammurabi's greatest strength, not his sword, but his clarity. The code grows with the realm, a living testament to fairness. The stele stands tall. The people watch and remember their king is not above the law. He is its servant and its master. Thank you for joining us on this epic journey through the Code of Hammurabi, one of the world's first great legal legacies. Together, we've uncovered sense-vivid chapters, each drawn from the lives of merchants, mothers, thieves, and kings. These ancient stories show us that law is not just about punishment. It's about responsibility, balance, and the eternal struggle for justice. From the muddy canals of farmers to the golden halls of kings, Hammurabi's code carved fairness into the very fabric of society. Though the punishments were often harsh, they were rooted in a vision, a dream of a world where the strong do not crush the weak and the poor have a voice. Even now, over some Tebite years later, echoes of Hammurabi's stone still ring through our courts and cultures. He did not invent justice, but he gave it form, in words, in rules, and in the hearts of people. If you enjoyed this series, please like, subscribe, and share. And remember, the law may be ancient, but the story of justice is always unfolding. Until next time, may fairness guide your path and wisdom light your way.